How much do you think you know about female orgasms? If you're like most men, I'm guessing not a lot, because this is not something they teach you or talk about in school or anywhere else. And that's why in this video, I'm going to give you a quick masterclass on 6 female orgasms, or just the female orgasm. This includes the most important things you should know about the big O. And I'll tell you what an orgasm actually is, how to tell if she's had one, and the 6 common types of orgasms women can have and how to give her these. And at the end, I'll give you my secret hack for giving women more orgasms more consistently so she keeps wanting and chasing you for more. That said, let's dive in. My name is Marnie, and from here on out, I'm gonna be your very own personal orgasm wing girl. Every week, I'm gonna give you the no BS insider info about what women really want, plus the most effective methods to win over any girl you like. So just hit that subscribe button now so you never miss a video. So what I'm going to teach you today is going to make you a master in the bedroom, but here's the deal. The information and guidance I give you is great. I won't knock it. But in order to truly understand the advice and guidance I provide in this video, it's best to combine this with actual instruction videos that show you real live people doing what I'm about to share, which is why I'm so excited to tell you about my video sponsor today, Beducated. Beducated is an amazing video online platform that brings pleasure-based sex education right to your bedroom through 100+ online courses from the world's top experts. Beducated is a safe space for all men, no matter relationship status, sexual orientation, or gender. And right now, you can try it out for 1 day for free. And if you like it, which you will, it's only $9.99 a month, or you can get 40% off the yearly pass with my coupon code MARNIE. Build sexual confidence, become a skillful lover, and learn to communicate about sex more on Beducated. To start becoming more sexually confident and fully educated on sex, go to the link below in the description box and enter coupon code MARNIE. Beducated is about to change your sex life and is Marnie approved, wing girl approved, female approved. Every man should subscribe to Beducated. So click the link in the description below and sign up to Beducated now with coupon code MARNIE. Your future partners will thank me for it. So, back to the video. What is an orgasm really, and how do you know if she's actually had one? Well, interestingly enough, there's no universally agreed upon definition for an orgasm. Researchers know what happens during an orgasm, how it feels, and so on, but there's no universal definition. However, the way I see it and how many people instinctively think of it is that an orgasm is the pleasurable release of a built-up tension or sexual excitement. That's it. Men typically ejaculate when they reach this point of sexual release and their heart rate goes up. But what happens for women is that the muscles in our vagina and lower belly region tend to rhythmically contract or squeeze, if you will. Our heart rate and breathing go up just like yours, and for some women, on some occasions, they might end up ejaculating as well. Here's a spoiler, this is what squirting is, and we'll come back to it later in this video. Now, this whole process of the female orgasm can be broken into 4 steps or stages. Stage 1, excitement. This is when we start to feel turned on, our nipples might get stiff, so can our clit, and we start to get wet down there. Stage 2 is the plateau. This is where the sexual excitement gets really intense. Our genitals become a lot more sensitive and we experience strong currents of pleasure running all over our body. Stage 3 is the climax. This is when our bodies go past the point of no return. There's an overwhelming buildup of excitement that results in a deep body-wide sensation of pleasure and a feeling of release. And stage 4 is resolution. At this stage, our bodies relax and recover from our orgasm, and our genitals return to their usual state, no longer swollen or highly sensitive, and we tend to feel content, sleepy, and relaxed. However, you may or may not already know this, but unlike men, we women don't have a recovery period as such, meaning we can keep having continued orgasms with continued stimulation. This is what people imply when they say women have or can have multiple orgasms. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that we want to, but it's something the female body is typically capable of doing. And this brings us to the next part of this video. What are the different types of orgasms a woman can experience? So once again, there are divided opinions on this subject. Some sources and experts will claim there are up to 13 types of orgasms. Some claim there are only 3, some claim just 1. But to make things as simple as possible, I want to tell you about the most common types of orgasms. More specifically, the 6 common types of orgasms, female orgasms. And I'm going to go through them quickly, starting with the one you probably know the best, the one that the vast majority of women are capable of experiencing. So number 1, the clitoral orgasm. This clitoris is a sexual organ that looks like a small erect tissue on the outside of the vulva above the vaginal opening, but it also extends internally into the vagina. It is made up of millions of nerve endings, which make it extremely sensitive to stimulation. In fact, the clitoris has the most nerve endings per square inch of any part of the human body. So just let that sink in for a second. This makes the clitoris the ultimate pleasure button on the female body. So stimulating the clitoris directly by touching, rubbing, or licking, or indirectly touching the labia, which is surrounding the clitoris, prompts an increase in blood flow to the area, making the clitoris engorged and in need of that orgasmic release. See, this is when something like Beducated would come in so helpful. I'm just talking about a clitoris and a labia and all of these nerve endings. But on the Beducated site, on their online video platform, it will actually show you all of these spots so that you know where to lick and touch and do things too. Number 2. The vaginal orgasm. Most vaginal orgasms occur during the stimulation of the G-spot. So the G-spot is located about 1 to 2 inches inside the vaginal wall on the upper side and feels like a spongy bump. This spot is also connected to a network of pleasure-inducing nerves, making it a very sensitive area. And while penetrative sex can stimulate the G-spot, the easiest way to hit the G-spot is actually with your fingers. Additionally, the vagina also is home to 2 other sexual hotspots called the A spot and the C spot. And these are deeper inside the vaginal setup and also has several pleasurable nerve endings. They are most likely to get stimulated during penetration or using sex toys. However, as I mentioned earlier, when it comes to vaginal orgasm, stimulating the G-spot is the most common route to intense sexual pleasure. One way to actually really hit this spot is to not go missionary, but I don't know what it's called, reverse cowboy, or like reverse the girl around, have her bend over so that your penis can start to slide against the inside of her vagina on the upper part. Upper part meaning like by the base here, so that it's rubbing against that spongy part. Again, go watch Beducated. They can show you more accurately exactly what I'm talking about. Number 3, anal orgasm. Anal penetration or anal play can also help women reach climax by indirectly stimulating nearby erogenous regions. This is because the anus and rectum are very close to the vagina and clitoris and are connected by a thin stretch of tissue called the perineum. Plus, the anus is also connected to the pelvic floor muscles, which support the vagina. In plain English, this means many nerve endings of the clitoris and the vagina are indirectly hit on during anal play. And because of this, it can lead to the build of pleasure that results in an orgasm. Number 4, nipple orgasm. I recently made a whole video on that you can check out later. But in a nutshell, a woman's breasts and nipples are major erogenous zones, so it's possible to have an orgasm just by stimulating those areas. The nipples are especially sensitive to touch since they contain many nerve endings. Now, interestingly, there's no clear data on what percentage of women can orgasm without contact with their genitals. Researchers also don't know why nipple orgasms happen. However, research has found nipple stimulation activates the same part of your brain that controls genital stimulation, meaning it's a highly erogenous and hot spot for pleasure. And whether or not a woman climaxes from it, breast play is something that's very appreciated by us all. Number 5, a blended orgasm. A blended orgasm is a climax that happens when more than one erogenous zone is being stimulated at the same time. So any combination of erogenous zones, like the clitoris, the G-spot, the nipples, the anus, all blended together. However, the most likely combination and easiest one here will be the G-spot and the clitoris. That's how most women who are capable of having blended orgasms end up having one. And it's incredibly intense, mind-melting experience because it's essentially 2 orgasms at once. So if you'd like a full video on how to give a woman a blended orgasms, let me know in the comments below. Number 6, squirting orgasm. As I touched on earlier in the video, during an orgasm, some women can release a gush of clear fluid, also known as squirting. Squirting is also sometimes called female ejaculations, but some researchers don't consider it the same thing. It's important to note that not all women squirt or can squirt, even the ones who only do it on some occasions. It's typically due to stimulation of the G-spot, sometimes during penetration, but far more commonly during the act of fingering. I have a whole video on that perfect technique for fingering a woman that's guaranteed to drive her wild. So for more details, please feel free to check that. I'm gonna leave it in the links below. But now that you know the main types of orgasms, I want you to switch gears and talk about the big secret to giving women more orgasms more consistently. If you simply know and apply this one secret, I promise you'll be a better lover than 99% of men out there, and any woman you're with will keep wanting and chasing you for more. You ready? So here's the secret. Don't try. Just listen. Just hear me out on this because I'm going to change your sex life. Have you ever noticed how women automatically like when you don't try to make them like you, or how you're funny and clever in conversations when you're not bothered about being funny and clever? Well, the same applies in the bedroom. You're much more likely to give a woman, mind-melting orgasms when you're not focused on it. Truth is, focusing on orgasms put pressures on both parties. You start to get in your head and worry about what you're doing in the bedroom, and then you stiffen up. You doubt if you're even good enough or if you're letting her down. You think of what happens if you don't get her off, and it kills your confidence in the bedroom. And as a guy, you need to burn this into your brain. A woman doesn't need to orgasm to enjoy her time with you. As long as you're supporting her in experiencing pleasure, she's gonna have a good time. Many women are completely turned off by the emphasis that's put on her achieving an orgasm. It's a lot of pressure. Women can get very stressed about reaching climax if their partner seems too enthusiastic about it, or too focused on it. And this stress keeps us from actually being in the moment and enjoying the experience. So take orgasm off of the pedestal. It's not the end goal. The only goal is to help her experience, and for both of you to experience, pleasure. If you simply focus on that, you will dramatically increase her chances of reaching climax. Now, here's another thing to remember. The more turned on she is before you get intimate, the greater the pleasure she will experience, and the more likely she is to climax. In other words, more turned on equals more pleasure. More buildup equals more pleasure, and that means a higher chance of having orgasms. This is why it's so important to know how to really turn a woman on before you try to escalate with her physically. The way you do this is by flirting with her and having sexually charged conversations instead of friendly, mundane, normal small talk. Doesn't matter if it's a woman you just met, your date, your girlfriend, your wife of 30 years. Women get turned on by flirting. Flirting is verbal foreplay, and if you'd like to see how to flirt with a woman in a way that gets her turned on every time, guaranteed, you can click the link in the description below and check out my top-rated course, The F Formula. It gives you a simple step-by-step breakdown of how to have fun, flirty conversations with women that make her heart race and get her all tingly down there. Plus tons of examples of exactly what to say that you can use as soon as tonight. Over 35,000 of my students have used the F formula to attract, date, and sleep with beautiful women, and many of them have also used it to re-attract a woman who lost interest or started to pull away. So when it comes to making a woman want you sexually or even start liking you again, this is the most proven and effective tool I can hand you as your wing girl. To find out everything about the F formula, just click the link in the description box below. I've made you a very special video where I reveal what the formula is and how it works, how to do it. So just click that link, hit that link, go to that link, and watch it now. I will see you again next week.